For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong you made right, for every dream that you made come true, for all the love I found in you. And I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believe. And I'm everything I am because you love me. You gave me wings and made me fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. I lost my faith, you gave it back to me. You said no star was out of reach. You stood by me and I stood tall. Had your love, you gave it all. And I'm grateful for each day. Maybe I don't know that much, but I know this much is true. And I was blessed because I was loved by you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believed. And I'm everything I am because you love me. You were always there for me, the tender wind that carried the light in the dark, shining your love. You've been my inspiration through the lights, you were the truth. My world is a better place because of you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. Gave me faith 'cause I believe. And I'm everything I am because you love me. Because you love me. Oh, I'm everything I am because you love me. Love is not a battle. Love is not a bomb. Love is just as fragile as it is strong. Love is not hatred, law, code, or creed. Love will walk into your prison and set you free. To rise above it all, swim out in the deep, climb up any mountain, even when it's steep. Surrender all my weakness, give you all my faults, even when my faith is small. Love stands tall. Oh, your love stands tall. Oh, love is courage. Love is pain. Love will tell you to keep walking or walk away. Love is like an old oak, steady, sure and strong. When everything is changing, love holds on. To rise above it all, swim out in the deep, climb up any mountain, even when it's steep. Surrender all my weakness, give all my faults, even when my faith is small. Love stands tall. Your love stands tall. Love will never fail you, never break, but it bends. Love will lay its life down, love will help you begin. To rise above it all, swim out in the deep, climb up any mountain, even when it's steep. Surrender all my weakness, give you all my faults, even when my faith is small. Now rise above it all, swim out in the deep, climb up any mountain, even when it's steep. Surrender all my weakness, give you all my faults, even when my faith is small. Love stands tall. Your love stands tall. Your love stands tall. Love stands tall. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell. Well, I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. I won't be pushed around. When the world keeps trying to bring me down, and I will stand my ground. No, I won't back down. Oh, hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. No, hey, I stand my ground. No, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we know there's days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. My chains are gone, and I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. Like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first live virtual banquet.
Yay!
I want to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you for joining us. Some of you might be having a little technical difficulty, but hopefully you will reach in and join us in a few minutes. Otherwise, you can tell your friends about it and they can watch us anytime later. This video will be available on Facebook, our website, or on YouTube. I am Catherine Lennon, the Director of Development and Outreach here, and I also want to give a shout out to all of our volunteers. We miss you. We so appreciate all the work that you have done for us in the 25 years that we have been in business here, and we hope to have you back with us again soon.
I'm Mary Bolton, and I'm the Director of Client Services and Programs. Thank you for being here, and welcome.
Hi, I'm Maggie Maves. I am the nurse manager, so glad you're here.
I am Erin Espinoza, and I am the communications and marketing manager.
So right now we're going to get started with a prayer, and I will now introduce Father Adam from Cabrini Parish. He is from a nice parish in Allen Park, Michigan. They're a great supporter to the Lennon Center.
Hi, my name is Father Adam Nowak. I'm the Associate Pastor at St. Francis Cabrini Catholic Church in Allen Park. I know this is not how we envisioned gathering together for this great event, but somehow it's part of God's plan. And it's important to recognize that for whatever reason this year, 2020, God has willed that we be gathered together in this way. And so it's important always that we start with prayer. And so we pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the great gift of life, this great gift that you have given to us. And we thank you for our mothers who have willingly given us this gift as well with you. Father, we ask that you bless all mothers who find themselves in moments of crisis right now, that they would find the support they need. We ask that you protect and support crisis pregnancy centers all around our country who are doing your work to bring forth new life to this world. We ask that through our minds and our hearts, young people would be educated to understand and recognize the great gift that life is. Especially during this election season, Father, we ask that you change the hearts of all Americans and that leaders would be elected who uphold the dignity of every human life from conception to natural death. We pray, of course, as always, for an end to the evil of abortion. And we thank you for all those who work to fight against this evil. We ask that you support and you bless all those who are working in crisis pregnancy centers and those who, like these people gathered today, support their mission. We thank you once again for the great gift of life. And we ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father Adam. While we have been closed, we had the opportunity to take a nice tour of the center, which we know you guys have not gotten to see very often. So we will take a look there.
Here we are walking into the Lennon Center. The first thing you see is the front desk where Marianne and I are sitting. Clients come here and they fill out paperwork for the various services that we provide. We have a nice barrier up for the COVID-19 and it is so that we can see and hear the clients as much as possible.
So now you can see that we're entering our classroom, which usually pre-COVID we would have people sitting in the sofas. I would be teaching and their children were free to come if they had kids with them. It was really a great situation in that I could watch how people interact with their children. But since we are in the time of COVID, we've adapted a lot and we've become virtual. So classes are 3 times a week for an hour. Clients can tune in via Facebook Live or Zoom. And as you can see, the big monitor on the side there really helps us out that we're able to do a lot of PowerPoint presentations and really meet our clients where they're at. We believe here at the Lennon Center that every woman is stronger than their circumstances. And so we like to remind them with that little motto on the door as they enter the counseling room. The counseling room is a place of confidentiality and quiet where the counselor and the client can meet to discuss their circumstances and to discuss their options and let our abortion vulnerable women know that they do have a choice for life. So this is our material goods room, and this is where we are actually able to keep our material resources that we provide for our clients. Our clients can receive material goods when they attend class or if they call and are in need of an emergency assistance. As you can see, there's lots of different racks with lots of different sizes of clothing. We're unique in that we work with families until their children are almost ready to go to preschool. So we have sizes all the way up to 5T, which is fabulous. The material goods that we provide often need restocked because we've been going through them so quickly. And honestly, that's where our donors are really needed because we use their funds to restock items that we don't often have. I think Erin and I calculated this year that we probably supply 25 to 30 bags of material goods per week. So we go through things very, very quickly, and during the different seasons, we change the seasons, and our job is to help women and families who are facing an economic crisis during this COVID time and are in need of material assistance.
Now we're entering our first look ultrasound clinic. After an ultrasound, I like to sit down and see if they have any questions, go through what they saw, and just help them through, counsel them through their options. And we also do store off-season clothes in this room. All right, now we have the opportunity to look at some live ultrasounds. I'm really excited for everyone to be able to see these. We wanted to show you a few live ultrasounds at different stages in development. We appreciate our clients and friends who consented to the filming so you can see movement and changes in different weeks of pregnancy. So here's an example of an ultrasound. This particular one is 13 weeks along. We start with getting a little bit of information from the client, some of their health history, making sure that they have an OB to go to. We want to make sure our clients are aware of the resources we offer for them, all of our classes and supplies, and we also do point them in the direction of other resources they may need. We do ultrasounds from 6 to 21 weeks pregnant. The majority of our ultrasounds are between 6 and 10 weeks. We do a limited ultrasound, which means we're measuring the length of the baby. That tells us the gestational age of the baby. And then we also measure the heart rate of the baby. So our sonographer, Sandra, there is setting up. She's explaining to the client what's going to happen, that she's going to get all of her measurements first. And then we turn on the nice big screen that the person can then look at without having to crank her head to see the screen that our sonographer is looking at. So she puts a little bit of gel on so that her camera can get the picture that it needs to see, and then she gets those measurements, including the heart rate, and it's really cool then for the mom to be able to see that. While our clients are here, a lot of times they need to bring their children along, and of course we allow them to come in, or maybe a significant other. With coronavirus, of course, we are limiting the amount of people in, but with this particular ultrasound, she brought her son along so he could come and see too, and he actually was really interested in seeing what's on the screen, and he loved seeing the little tiny baby models. He thought that was pretty cool to see. He may not understand exactly what he's seeing, but he could see it moving around, and he was looking at the little tiny baby model, and he just thought it was the coolest thing. And like I said, with the measurements, we have to get the heart rate. And so you can see across the screen, on the bottom of the screen, what that is she's looking and measuring that heart rate. And when we put it on the big screen, we point out with the little cursor then, see she points out exactly where it's beating. And usually they can see that, and it's always a really special moment. Oftentimes seeing this ultrasound for a mom, or even if the dad's able to be in there, it makes the pregnancy more real. To see that heart beating, to see the baby up on the screen, it becomes much more real and something that they're excited then for. This ultrasound is a baby at 6 weeks exactly, so it's the size of a sweet pea. The heart begins to beat. That's 22 days after fertilization. So this is at 6 weeks, so the heart's been beating already for a while, but this is pretty much the earliest we can see it on ultrasound. The baby's heart is beating about twice as fast as its mom's heart at this point. You can see it flickering at the little tip of the pointer. The large circle next to the baby is called a yolk sac, and it's actually where the baby's getting its nourishment from until the placenta is fully developed at around 12 weeks. This next ultrasound is a baby at 7 weeks and 2 days, and you can see just how much bigger it is than that 6-weeker. At 7 weeks, the baby's the size of a blueberry, and it's developing rapidly. The baby's eyes start developing this week. Brain waves have been recorded this early. The baby can hiccup. It's moving at this point. That pointer's pointing out that heartbeat again, which is very important. This is a baby at 9 weeks gestation. You can see that little heart in the middle, and it's moving quite a bit. And it was just a really fun movement. And you can see the baby's head at the right side and its little feet kicking out at the left. And now we have a 10-weeker, and you can see in that 1 week how much more it has grown. And you can see about in the center that baby's heart beating away, and you can see a hand up by its face. That head is up on the right side of the screen. You can see on the left a leg sticking out of the bottom there. That 10-week-old baby is about the size of a large strawberry. The baby can suck its thumb. Its tiny little teeth buds are developing. It moves around quite a bit. This one was giving us a little show and dancing for us. It was a really fun one to watch. This ultrasound's a baby at 14 weeks and 3 days. It was moving quite a bit for us. At 10 weeks, a baby has all its organs in place, and so it's just a matter of growth and development. So everything's there for this baby, and it's just moving and growing and developing further. You can see its little toes and its legs moving a lot at the very bottom. It even sucked its thumb for us in this ultrasound. It was pretty cute. You can see the head up at the top right, and all of the brighter structures around our bones that you can see. You can see little fingers even in this ultrasound, and the forearm there. That little baby is sucking its thumb.
That was so wonderful to see. I loved the visuals there. So we wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. We have about 50 to 55 viewers right now, and our donations are at just over $16,000.
Great.
Woo! Thank you so much, donors. And every time we get donations, we're going to fill up our diaper. We're going to fill this up so that it will hopefully by the end of the night be overflowing.
I've been here since about 2007. I started off as a volunteer. My husband and I used to get the newsletters from the Lennon Center, and I was always, being a former teacher, fascinated by the fact that it was an education-based program, and that really struck a chord with me. So when I first came to the Lennon Center, and Laura Dias was the director at the time, it was mostly more for ultrasounds and pregnancy tests, and there were classes that were scheduled, and they had a great tutor to do for GRE, which was great, but they also had like classes that were scheduled, but they were more like, let's do a car seat class, let's do this kind of class. And what I wanted to do was to work with a woman from the time that she finds out that she's pregnant and talk about prenatal care and taking good care of yourself. And really, I designed this program from pregnancy through childbirth all the way to when we're disciplining a 2, 3, and 4-year-old, because that's really a whole different type of education that you go through from pregnancy. It becomes not just about you anymore, but you're really caring for this child. And to not have a support system around you, maybe you didn't have a good example as a parent, or maybe you're just not around a lot of people who know how to parent. It's important. Parenting has changed a lot. There are a lot more issues out there, but yet we're so educated, but sometimes we're so disconnected from each other. And I wanted women and dads to feel there's a place to go where I can learn about child development and about pregnancy and parenting, and I have like a family, because these people are going to follow me. Motherhood is a community, isn't it? When you become a mother, it's like, it's a life-changing experience. You're never the same. And you can't explain it to someone who's not going through it. So to have that only adds more of a sense of community to what we do. And the word we use a lot around here is family. And I want them to feel like they're part of the Lennon Center family.
My in-laws were part of the original team that started the Lennon Center, and back then it was Metro Life Choices. And we started the Lennon Center to offer an option to the ladies in this Dearborn area who were looking for an abortion, but of course we wanted to offer a pro-life choice to them. Knowing that the center was around and that my in-laws had been involved in it from day one, of course, I would volunteer at different things and come to the banquets and that type of thing. But then when my kids were older and wanting to get back into work and having a marketing degree from Michigan and being very pro-life, of course, this kind of filled that need for me, and I've been so happy here for so many years. It's been perfect because when my kids were younger, I could work part-time, and then as they got older and I needed a full-time job, it just was the perfect segue for my life. Our services and what we do has just grown so much in terms of the classes that we have and the outreach that we do and how we reach these moms. Social media didn't even exist back then, so how we can find them through our Facebook page and through Instagram and Twitter, and just looking for them and them looking for us is huge. So it's just expanded exponentially. To the donors, I just want to say, you know, you guys have no idea how truly grateful these gals and these men and these babies are.
Hi, my name is Sherry Hancock, and I am very privileged to be one of the sonographers here at the Lennon Center. I have been here for 2.5 years. I graduated and got my first job in ultrasound in 1984 in a small hospital where I was the only sonographer, so I did everything, every possible body organ, including OB work, obstetrical work. Well, I wasn't there very long until I found out that some of the obstetrical work that I had to do was actually for patients that were going to have abortions. That was a rude awakening. I got into the field wanting to save lives, not end lives. And one thing that sticks out is when you can see a patient or a client who comes in and is abortion vulnerable. She sees that heartbeat and you can just see a transformation in her eyes. And the thought process that she goes through and seeing those clients turn it around to where they're like convinced that this is a live baby and I want to keep my baby and mother it. Were it not for our donors, we couldn't be doing this. And especially I'd like to throw a shout out to the Knights of Columbus. They are so generous with us. Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful, beautiful machine that was bought by them. And were it not for you, the donors, we couldn't do this work. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we appreciate it.
I've been married for 12 years. I'm a mom of 2 boys, One is 10 and one is almost 8. They keep me very busy, especially my almost 8-year-old. We've done almost everything. We do pregnancy tests. I've helped with the supplies and passing them out, and talking and counseling a little bit. Probably my favorite memory is just seeing their reaction of seeing the baby on the screen and their heart flickering, and just especially when they get emotional and they cry, it makes you feel good inside. Just appreciate all the donations and everything to keep us going, and being able to offer the classes and the ultrasounds to help all these girls that come in that need help. Really
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I am a mom of 4. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. My husband and I have been married for 11 years. He's a pastor at one of the churches nearby. And I've been at the Lennon Center now for almost 4 years. I came in as the nurse manager, and I am still the nurse manager. That's the role I have filled here at the Lennon Center. There have been changed. We got a new machine, and that has been a long time too now. That's been
2017, I think.
It feels like it was yesterday we got it, but we've had it for 3 years then.
Yeah.
It is a lovely machine, beautiful. Knights of Columbus got it for us. They're awesome. It makes a huge difference. It's such a lovely machine, and we've got a nice screen then, a viewing screen, so women don't have to crank their neck to look at the screen. Their reaction to seeing that little heart beating on the screen, their exclamations of wonder, it's fascinating. And to see even when we get the dads in too, and sometimes when they break down and get all emotional, it's sweet, and it's amazing just to see how impactful an ultrasound can be. It's a quote, I don't know who quoted it, the ultrasound is the window to the womb. I just want to emphasize again just how important it is to be there for people of all walks of life, people of all thoughts on what they want to do with their pregnancy, so that we can educate all people about life in the womb, so that they can see that is a baby from the beginning, so that they can see that child is important. And we very much emphasize that they themselves, as the mother, the father, if they're there, are very important to us, and we want to help them however we can.
I'm Erin. I am a mom of 3. They are 9, 6, and 16 months almost. I have been at the Lennon Center since my middle one was just shy of a year old. My husband David and I have been together 12 years, 10. I started out at the Lennon Center as the office manager, and I am currently holding the title of communications manager. So in the 5 years I've been here, there's been quite a few clients that we've watched kind of grow up before our eyes. She came in abortion vulnerable, and I was in the middle of eating a sandwich, and I was like, all right, let's go. And we kind of just went in, we talked, we chit-chatted. She spilled everything, and I just sat there and listened. And then I said, okay, plan of attack, let's go. And I counseled not only her, but then I counseled her and her boyfriend at the time together multiple times. My husband was also involved. And these are huge things. We made, giant steps. And we went to their wedding, and I was there the day that she had her baby, Luke. And it was beautiful. I have a picture of my oldest, Abigail, whose story of me being a young mom kind of helped save this baby. And there's a picture of Abigail holding Luke in the hospital. This is exactly why we're here. It's a huge moment. And, they now have 2 kids together, and have been together for, 3 years almost.
All right, now we are going to talk about a new project that we have. We're really excited to share with you something that we've started. It's called the Postpartum Depression Project. And something I like to point out with that is postpartum depression, usually you think about after a baby's born, but these symptoms can start during pregnancy as well. So we really are reaching out to our moms during pregnancy as well. So let's take a look.
So just as a little intro, we decided to do it because statistics show that when someone is facing a trauma, like maybe perhaps even thinking about suicide, if one person reaches out and says to them, hey, how are you doing? Are you thinking about this? Are you thinking about doing that? The chances of them following through with that act is significantly plummets. So that really interests me, with the psychologist in me really is interested in that. So I felt like just having classes that obviously a lot of our clients do display symptoms of depression when they talk about what their life is like and the struggles that they have faced personally. And maybe even more so, you probably agree, an abortion vulnerable girl would really have issues.
If someone feels like it's going to be the end of the world
It's
to
hopeless.
be pregnant, that life is hopeless, then you're going to be more depressed. With this project, another thing that really brought to light is just postpartum depression is the most common complication of childbearing that affects women, and it has gotten a lot more attention. Mental health has over the years built up like to more of it's normal to talk about. This is part of health. This is what you need to take care of as well. It's not so much a stigma. It still is a little bit, but it has become more normalized that yes, you need to address that aspect of your health as well.
Right, and a woman who is faced with doing this all on her own is really hesitant to talk about it because they're afraid people are going to say, then
don't do it.
You are not a good mother. You know, you're unqualified.
You don't have what it takes. You shouldn't be going through with it.
And also, even when she has that baby, she's going to feel like, I can't talk about how I feel because people are going to think I'm an unfit mother. So we want to remove all of that stigma. We want to embrace how you're feeling and get people to talk about their feelings. And we have kind of a whole program how I want to do that.
So when a woman comes in for an ultrasound, we have a paper that we ask them to look at and fill out. It's a patient health questionnaire. So it's a very standard health questionnaire that goes through different questions of, are you feeling more tired? Are you feeling like you don't have as much pleasure in doing things? You have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, things like that. Some things that obviously looking at, okay, where are you on this scale? Because then they circle the different numbers like, 0, no, that doesn't affect me. 3, yes, it's really affecting me. My eating habits have changed drastically, like, or whatever. And that's just an opportunity for them to look and think. It makes them think through how they're feeling. It helps us see too, to know and talk with them. So they fill out this form, and on the other side, they fill out saying, hey, it's okay for the Lennon Center to call and follow up and see how I'm doing. We're going to space out the calls, so we're not bombarding you with calls. We're, just well-spaced calls, and they sign, yeah, sure, we would love that. So then we give them a call. We follow up them like, hey, you came in for that ultrasound 3 weeks ago. How are you doing? I noticed from when you filled it out last time you were having some trouble with this. How are you doing today? It's a relationship we want to build with people. We want relationships here. We want to help people. We want to be their community. We want them to know that we're there for them.
And I think the thing I like about the tool is that the ladies are given that tool to also take home for the next call. And I like the fact that they can self-monitor. Like, oh, I know I talked to Maggie the other day about the appetite thing, and I noticed I'm still not eating, or I find that I'm still not sleeping, or no, I'm improving on this, or no, I notice when I do this, I feel better. So that is a great tool for them to understand, because I know for our clients, many times they're also intimidated on their doctor visits. They don't also always get a chance to share what they're really feeling. They're afraid sometimes to really open up. So this kind of keeps it where they know what to look for in themselves. They know triggers now, right? They're going to understand that and then say, hey, you know what? Maybe when Maggie calls next time or Marianne calls next time, maybe I need to bring this up.
Yeah, absolutely. A big point to bring up is that we make sure we let them know we don't replace the doctor. Yes. We are helping you realize when you need to talk to your doctor about, like, okay, it looks like you're having more than just like baby blues or just a little down today. This is something you need to talk to your doctor about. Maybe you need to see a therapist. Maybe you could use some medication. Is very common. And just having someone else tell them and be like, yeah, this is valid, something to talk about
Don't
with
be
your
afraid
doctor,
to tell your doctor this.
then they're more likely to be like, oh, it's not just going to be a bother or something silly
it's
that
not
they'll
just
mock
me.
me for bringing up. No, this is something you need to take care of. We make it very clear we're not diagnosing you, we are not treating you, we're just trying to help you see when you need help. We want to be here for you.
And we can maybe find a resource for you. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. Where do you live? Or maybe you need to come into the office a little bit and we can talk to you a little bit more one-on-one. Or maybe you need to participate in some of our classes where we have some guest speakers on exercise and nutrition and, you know, our mental health, so that they can feel like we're coming at them with a multi-pronged approach of support and care, and it just kind of extends that family feeling that we try to build around here, where we really try to follow a client from pregnancy all the way to their child is ready to go off to school.
Well, we're back, and I hope you're taking a look at our crib cam right here, because we want to fill up our crib with lots of donations. Your funds, remember, go right to supplies for our clients. So we've kind of used this as just a little illustration for you that how much of a difference you can make in somebody's life when you donate. And that PPD project is something we are super, super excited about, meeting more people where they're at the Lennon Center. So next, I'd like to have you, our donors, meet 2 clients of ours and hear their stories. And their stories are very compelling, and I think that they really portray the true mission and the spirit of the Lennon Center.
I am Amanda Schreiber. I'm 30. Wow, that's bad. I'm 32.
I was like, wait a second.
After 30, I feel like it goes out the window.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so
doesn't
32 and mom of 2.
Okay.
2 years old is Luke, or we call him Lukey, and Alistair is 8 months, just turned 8 months, and yeah.
How did you hear about the Lennon Center?
So, we were in a crisis mode at the time, and basically my husband knew about Lennon Center through Divine Child. They had made donations here before.
Okay.
And so because they had made donations, he knew about it, and he said, I think we should just go there and any help and maybe just give them a call. We had been together like 3 months, so very
not long at all. You walked in, because I remember that day very, very well. I remember I was eating a sandwich. Very specifically, I was eating Jimmy John's, and the phone rang, and the only one available was me. And so we just kind of chit-chatted on the phone because you were panicking.
Oh yeah, I think it was the end of your labor when you're having contractions all coinciding together.
Yeah.
It was a panic attack after panic attack. Yeah. I knew that there was a possibility that I could or would lose my job.
Okay.
Because I was working at a church and I was a youth leader. And I love those kids still. But I was a role model.
Yeah.
So the role model doesn't go and get herself pregnant when she's trying to work with teens and work with kids and help them grow and be good people. And then I felt humiliated and like I had failed at everything I wanted to do with my entire life. It was just gonna come crashing down.
Yeah.
So when I walked through the door, I was like, I had no answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had called out of desperation, which is interesting. I had called a center to schedule an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
The early term where you go and it's like a pill, and then I think they have to deposit locally or something like that. And I wasn't sure I was going to get that either. I'm pretty much 100% against abortion. So for me to even do that shows how desperate I felt, because
You felt backed into a corner.
I felt like if people knew that it would be a disaster, but if people didn't know and I just went on as normal, then I could keep my job. Mm-hmm. My husband wouldn't have any issues. I was just starting to train for a marathon, and I'm like, I'm not married. I can't do this by myself. And it was just a disaster. So I called to see. I was kind of in denial about the fact that like I was pregnant and all that it entailed. So when I called, it was like, oh, well, I'm gonna like reverse this before it's actually a thing,
right?
Before it's actually like a baby. So trying to, convince myself, I guess, that it was okay, knowing all farewell. I was just waiting for my husband to say, don't do this.
Yeah.
like hoping to God he would say that, but also not wanting him to be like, I'll be with you because of this. So that was tough. I honestly can say I probably, I don't know how we would have come to the conclusion that we did at the very, I don't even know how we ended up coming to the decision to get married. I remember wondering if it was the right decision, but feeling like it was the right decision, but knowing like in my brain, like this is not a good idea because history says it's not a good idea to rush through this stuff. But I mean, I was almost 30, he was in his 30s. It's not like we hadn't dated other people. We knew what we wanted in a person.
Absolutely.
But we didn't really know how to make that happen together. And so when we came here, it was like talking to someone else and having them kind of reiterate how we felt and saying that it's okay and it can be done. And then kind of help knowing that we had like the support system if it's needed, so that like we've obviously getting married in like 4 months, I wouldn't recommend to anybody.
Yeah.
But if you do that, then you have to have some kind of support system that you can go back to, because you're going to need to go back there.
Yeah.
And it just means like you're a failure. It means that you need help.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
My name's Shayna. I found the Lennon Center online. I was looking for just resources and someone to go to when I was pregnant, because it was very unexpected. And it was a bumpy road for me at first. So I found the Lennon Center online and found out it was super close to me, super close to my house. So it was really convenient.
Walked over today.
I did walk over here today. Yes. Yes, me and my baby. So.
All right. So when you found us, were you specifically looking for an ultrasound? What were you looking for when did you Google us or something? And
I Googled, I remember I was looking for an ultrasound, a dating ultrasound, and because I didn't know how far I was, and I was also just looking for just any help as far as just resources. My first child, I'm not really, I don't really know what I'm getting into, so just any help, any advice. And I started by coming in with the ultrasound.
Something we like to point out is how powerful an ultrasound really can be. How did the ultrasound make you feel, I guess, is the question then?
It made me feel like everything was real, like to see him actually move around on the screen. And I remember you did my ultrasound, and I remember just actually seeing him like move up and down, like just kind of slithering around, just made it all real, make it seem like
how
it's
is
really
that
happening.
heart beating there?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
So now I do remember we sat down then, because like you said, it was kind of a rough spot for you and you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, it was a very rough at first. Getting like as far as my baby's father accepting that I was pregnant, that this was real, and he wasn't ready, to have. He wasn't ready, just mentally, he was ready for a baby, period. But so it was very rough at first. But when I came here, I got, like a lot of guidance and support. Very rough time. Like before I came here, it was a lot of confusion. Confusion, because I wanted to be excited, but I was also like very stressed, where I wasn't enjoying it at first like I should. I wasn't enjoying it. I was really like down and stuff, and I couldn't really like enjoy what I was going through. Hey, I'm doing an interview. I'm doing an interview for the website.
I know I was walking. I'm walking up here, but I'm doing an interview now for the website. All right.
She's a star.
I felt like when I came here, I could actually like face my pregnancy and actually like embrace it, you know. And like you guys all gave me something to be excited about, where I could come here and just be myself, you know, and be happy for the baby that I was expecting.
And I know you came to classes when we had in-person classes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I look forward to classes.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, I look forward to class. I would leave work, come in here, and go back to work.
Wonderful to have you.
Yeah.
That was a big effort that you made. And
oh yeah, it was definitely worth it.
did you feel like being with other women in your shoes? Do you think that was also uplifting?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was like a support group. Like when you come here and you see different people going through different things, whether it be similar to yours or different, you know, you just everyone kind of. You know, might just share what you're going through, just to be able to have an outlet, just to talk and also get support back. And like they give you like expectations, even if you're not at that point yet in your pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know, expectations, or you can share your story. You might help someone else. Sure. So it was, I miss it.
Yeah,
I miss it.
And so that voice over there is your little guy.
He
so you think
over
about that
here.
birthday, the day he was born. Like compare those emotions, those feelings, and your feelings now about being a mom.
It's definitely the best thing. Definitely the best day of my life. Definitely, like, just motherhood so far. I'm 7 months in only, but it's been the best.
You're still a sweet little boy.
Hello.
Hey, baby boy. Hey, Dash.
Hey, little man.
Gotta look at the camera, buddy.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
Are you being shy?
So there you have a picture of our great crib cam, and that is almost overflowing because we've raised just over $20,000. So thank you to all of our great donors and supporters. We couldn't do it without you. We still would love to take more donations. You can call. You can continue to call for a little bit more tonight or next week. You can send in donations in the old snail mail, of course, or you can get on our website and do it that way too. So we are so thrilled that you joined us tonight. We are, again, so grateful to our longtime supporters, to the people that just joined us for the first time ever. Thank you again. I hope that you enjoyed a day in the life of the Lennon Center, meeting all of us and some of our other lovely sonographers that have been answering the phones tonight. A big shout out to Laura Salampa, who's been behind the scenes running everything for us. Thank you, Laura. Again, a thank you to the volunteers who without them we wouldn't be able to do this. We've missed you, like I said at the beginning of the program. We hope to have you back soon. And again, this really is, I think I speak for all of us, this is really a heartfelt ministry for just anybody who has anything to do with the Lennon Center. We just feel it is a true privilege that God has put on our hearts to work here. And I think you've probably experienced that as you see us talk about it, and we just have a love for this work here. So I think Erin's going to explain how you can watch this in the future if you want to show it to your family and friends.
Absolutely. So something that we've been saving till the end is we have launched a brand new donor website for the Lennon Center. That is support-lennoncenter.org. And there is a link in the chat in both Facebook and YouTube that has the direct link for the banquet. We will have the video of tonight archived onto Facebook as well as YouTube. We will also be posting our client stories on the Lennon Center support site.
Great.
So the website again is support-lennoncenter.org.
And if you forget that, just give us a call and we'll be happy to give it to you again. So again, from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you. Have a great evening, and I hope you enjoyed our first annual virtual banquet. Good night.
Thank you.